No, no!
And I wish you had the luxury of grief, but you don't, Boyd. These people need you.
Boyd is the sheriff of From, but he is a person who definitely made very questionable decisions, and even some that were truly cruel, like allowing a person to be tortured, as we saw in the last episode of the third season. Many could hate the character for some of his actions, but I think that before judging Boyd, you have to take something very important into account, and that is the place they are in. It is a place where any kind of mistake you make can cost your life or that of others, as we saw in the first episode of the series. A man doesn't seal the windows of his house, and because of that, the girl opens one so that one of the creatures can come in. We are talking about putting a couple of nails in the window that doesn't even take 10 minutes, and it protects you in an absurd way. It can literally make the difference between living or dying. And that man was not someone new in town. Everything indicates they had been there for a while, so he knew about the danger the creatures represented, and even so, he decided not to close the windows. A simple mistake that caused a catastrophe. Then Boyd gets very angry and makes the man see the torn bodies of his family so that he learns his lesson, and tells him that he has to get into a box so the monsters can kill him as punishment. Here, it's not just that Boyd wanted to punish him by putting him in the box, but he made the man see his dead family with his own eyes. He basically traumatized him in an instant.
Frank, the box. Can't do it.
And Boyd decides that the man doesn't have to go into the box, but he chooses to go in on his own. It's understandable that he made that decision after Boyd made him see his mistake with his own eyes. That is cruel. Of course it is. But I have to say again that we are not just anywhere. We are in From. And that place is much more dangerous than those people think. Many of them were not there at the very beginning, before they found the talismans. Only Boyd and a few others really know what it's like to be exposed. Back then, the poor had to hide in holes. They were constantly in danger at night.
I was burying more people in a week than you'd seen die in the last 2 years.
The new people who arrived there, like that guy and his family, arrived when the talismans were already in place. They arrived with a privilege that gives them a sense of security, which makes them get used to it, and therefore make stupid decisions like that man did. Boyd had the box as a resource so that people would see how serious that place is, the real danger that exists every day.
It was never supposed... I built the goddamn box as a deterrent. It's supposed to scare people.
He wasn't eager to use that box. Although, of course, if you as a leader say you are going to punish someone but then don't do it, you lose authority and people start to get more careless.
I'm not going to stand here and pretend like this is an easy decision.
But, well, in my point of view, it was a very necessary resource at that moment, since we saw that they had gone almost 100 days without incidents. That makes people get comfortable and lower their guard. So, for me, it wasn't so ruthless to have that resource there, especially because Boyd didn't want to use it. We are in a brutally hostile world. This has to be emphasized. Here, free will is a luxury, because one bad decision of yours can affect everyone. We saw it in episode 2 of season 4, when the police officer decides to steal the ambulance out of selfishness and ends up leaving everyone without the only functional vehicle. Therefore, I do think it is necessary for them to build a hierarchical community where the one at the top has the final say. Because my people, we are in a town where it's them against us. They shouldn't even allow themselves to have conflicts among the townspeople, although that is inevitable. We are human.
You gotta get these people to start looking out for each other. You build from there.
But the people of From live in constant war with an enemy that only rests during the day, and in this 4th season, we see that not even that anymore. The sense of community should be as strong as possible. They should all be united against a common threat. There are people who say that Shane from The Walking Dead was right, and I partly agree. Not the part where he slept with his best friend's wife weeks after thinking he was dead, but people say that Rick should have been tougher, and that Shane's method was better. After all, Rick was very soft for a world that required difficult decisions, so much so that later in the story, there came a point where Rick became a Shane 2.0. The hostile world changed Rick, and he became colder because it was necessary.
We have to live in the real world.
Therefore, it must be taken into account that those people are not there on vacation. Even though they also have to try to have a normal life so they don't go crazy, they can't get too comfortable, and the series already made that clear to us at several moments. You can't let your guard down, because it will cost people their lives. I repeat, people are not on vacation. They are at war, with practically immortal beings. Having that box there was a reminder to people, without Boyd having to remind them every day that they couldn't get too comfortable. It is a cruel reminder for a cruel place. But we also have to remember something very important, and that is that Boyd never asked for any of this. It's not like Boyd was a sheriff before in his normal life. Boyd was a retired Army veteran, along with his wife, and he was placed as a leader because of his experience and leadership, but Boyd never asked for that. The man simply understood that the person most capable of helping was him.
You gotta start working together.
That's a little easier said than done.
Since Boyd was the only one who had experience in chaotic life-or-death situations, like war.
Set up operations in some of the biggest, baddest clusterfucks on the planet.
The point is that Boyd didn't ask to be a leader. He became one because he didn't want to let people die. He did it out of necessity, for the greater good.
Lauren, she always liked you. Said you were hard on people because you had to be. Made the decisions other people couldn't.
Especially in those situations, having a leader is inevitably important, and although many may romanticize the figure of a leader, the truth is that it is one of the heaviest burdens someone could place on themselves.
Do something. I am doing something. I'm keeping this group together, alive. I've been doing that all along, no matter what. I didn't ask for this. I killed my best friend for you people, for Christ's sake.
We've seen it with Rick Grimes, and we're seeing it with Boyd, because every decision he makes, even with the best intentions, is criticized. Every mistake becomes his fault, and above all, he can't break down, because he is the pillar that keeps everyone sane. If you collapse or show vulnerability, everything falls apart. Even Christy explicitly tells him that he can't break down.
If they see you lose faith, then that's when people start hanging themselves in the bathroom.
But that is becoming inevitable, since in this season 4, after seeing how the only creature he killed, the only real victory they had, comes back from the dead.
We have one win, Kenny. One goddamn victory. And even that, we couldn't get one motherfucking...
Boyd becomes desperate and counts the bullets to see if there were enough. But for what? For each of the inhabitants who were still alive in the town. It's not the most logical or the most benevolent decision, but for Boyd at that moment, the only way to escape the town is through death. Boyd is at a point where he no longer knows what to do, but everyone expects him to do something, to find a solution. And in this case, he found one. But luckily, Kenny was there to persuade him.
Look, no matter what happens, you are the one person that nobody here can see.
But in the end, Boyd breaks down in front of the only person he can, his son.
Everything I've done, every sacrifice we've made.
But my question is, how can you not break down? Boyd killed his own wife. He had to sacrifice many things.
Your mom? Your mom?
But the most important for me was what happened in the 3rd season when the creatures set a trap for Boyd so he could see Kenny's mother being tortured and killed. At that point, we realize, and above all Boyd realizes, that this place, this hell on earth, is explicitly trying to break Boyd, torturing him psychologically.
I'm not gonna kill you, Boyd. That would be no fun. You think this place can't break you? Let's see.
We're talking about the fact that this damn hell now has a personal conflict with Boyd. It specifically wants to see him suffer. And at this point, I think Boyd does not fear his own death, but rather what that place can do to the people he still has left. That's why, by the end of the season, Boyd was willing to torture Elgin, because he was seeing once again how that place was manipulating others to hurt someone Boyd cared about, Fatima. And after everything that's happened so far, he keeps threatening to put Elgin in the box.
And I will tell everyone that you killed Tilly, and then I'm gonna put you in the box.
Because we're seeing Boyd become colder and colder, just like what happened with Rick.
I don't know if I like who I'm becoming, but I don't know who else to be.
So that place is trying to destroy Boyd psychologically, while he has to do everything to maintain his image as an unbreakable leader. And that, my friend, might be the worst torture they could give someone.